Good morning, everyone, especially to you, sir. Chapter 1, General Provision. General provision includes regulation concerning the survey of a various type of ships and issuing of documents signifying that the ship meets the requirements of the convention. So the chapter also includes provision for the control of ships and ports of other contracting governments. Chapter 2 to 1 Construction, subdivision, and stability machinery in electrical installation. So, the subdivision of passenger ships into watertight compartment must be such that after assumed damage to the ship's hull, the vessel will remain afloat and stable. Requirements for watertight integrity involves pumping arrangements for passenger ships are also laid down, as well as stability requirements for both passenger and cargo ships. So, Chapter 2, Fire Detection and Protection. So, includes detailed fire safety provision for all ships and specific measures for passenger ships, cargo, and ships and tankers. They include the following principal division of the ships into main and vertical zones by thermal and structural boundaries. Separation of accommodation space from the remainder of the ships by thermal and structural boundaries. Restricted use of combustible materials. Detection of any fire in the zone of origin. Containment and extension of any fire in the space and of origin. Protection of the means of escape or of access. Chapter 3, Life-Saving Appliances and Arrangement. So, the chapter includes requirements for life-saving appliances and requirements, including requirements for lifeboats, rescue boats, and life jacket according to the type of ship. The International Life-Saving Appliances, or LSA, code gives specific technical requirements for LSAs and is mandatory under Regulation 34, which states that all life-saving appliances and arrangement shall comply with the appliances applicable requirements of the LSA code. So that's all. Thank you, sir.
Good day, guys. So I'm here to report about the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, Chapter 4 to 7. So in Chapter 4, it talks about the radio communication. The chapter incorporates the Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, or GMDSS. All passenger ships and all cargo ships of 300 gross tonnage and upwards on international voyages are required to carry equipment designed to improve the chances of rescuing following accident, including satellite, emergency position indicating radio beacons or EPIRBs, and search and rescue transponder or SARTs for the location of the ships of survival crafts. Regulations of Chapter 4 covers undertaking by contracting governments to provide radio communication services as well as ships' requirements for carriage and radio communications equipment. The chapter is closely linked to the radio regulations of the International Telecommunication Union. As per Chapter 4, it has been said that all the ships need to have telecommunications or radio communications, as well as EPIRBs, SARTs, and VHFs or very high frequencies. Chapter 5. So in Chapter 5, it talks about the safety of navigation while we are on a voyage. Chapter 5 identifies certain navigation safety services which should be provided by contracting governments and set forth provisions of operation nature as applicable in general to all ships on all voyages. This is a contrast to the convention as a whole, which applies to certain classes of ship engaged on international voyages. The subject covered includes the maintenance of meteorological services for ships, the ice patrol service, routing of ships, and the maintenance of search and rescue services. So from the past years of studying the maritime, as what I have learned about the safety of navigation, it also needs an ample time and it needs an all available means when navigating a ship. So as per safety of navigation, it also needs that Your instruments of the ship or in the ship must be maintained equally and properly. So in chapter 6 of the Solas, we have the carriage of cargos. So as we all know, we have different carriage of cargos in our ship. We have dangerous cargos and that we put in our ship and supply it to other countries. The chapter covers all types of cargo except liquids and gases in bulk, which owing their particular hazards to ship or persons on board may require special precautions and regulations include requirements for stowage and securing of the cargo units such as containers. The chapter requires cargo ships carrying grain to comply with the International Grain Code. So as what I have said, in our ships we have different types of cargoes. We have the grain cargoes, oil, gases, and many more. So the cargoes are separated to each other if ever they are not same as what the chapter 6 requires in the Solas. So in chapter 7, it talks about the carriage of dangerous goods. In dangerous goods, the regulations are constrained in 3 parts. The part A, carriage of dangerous goods in packed form, includes provision for the classification, packing, marking, labeling, and placarding documentation of stowage dangerous goods. Part A1, carriage dangerous goods in solid form in bulk, covers the documentation, stowage, and segregation requirements for these goods and requires reporting of incidents involving such goods. In Part B, construction and equipment of ships carrying dangerous liquids, chemicals in bulk, requires chemical tankers to comply with International Bulk Chemical Code. Part C covers construction of equipment of ships carrying liquefied gases in bulk, and gas carriers to comply with the requirements of International Gas Carrier Code or IGC Code. Part D includes special requirements for the carriage of packaged irradiant nuclear fuel, plutonium, and high-level radioactive waste on board ships, and requires ships carrying such products to comply with the international codes for the safety carriage of packaged irradiated nuclear fuel, plutonium, and high-level radioactive waste on board ships, INF code. The chapter requires the carriage of dangerous goods to be in compliance with the relevant provisions of the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code or IMDG code. So in chapter 7, it talks about the dangerous goods that we put in our ships, as well as the explosives, non-flammable, inhalation, dangerous, and fuel. In dangerous goods, we have there what we call IMDG code to separate the different types of dangerous goods in our ship. We have different codes here at dangerous goods. We have the INF code, or again the irradiated nuclear fuel code, International Gas Carrier Code or IGC code, the Bulk Chemical Code or the IBC. And that's all for the chapter 4 to 7. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I'm Anthony Sumadero and I will be the one reporting this topic. Chapter 8, Nuclear Ship Safety Assessment. A safety assessment shall be prepared to permit evaluation of the nuclear power plant and safety of the ship to ensure that there are no unreasonable radiation or other hazard at sea or in port, to the crew, passenger or public, or to the waterways of food or water resources. The administration, when satisfied, shall approve such safety assessment, which shall always be kept up to date. Chapter 9, Management for the Safety Operation of Ship. The chapter makes mandatory the International Safety Management or ISM code, which require a safety management system to be established by the ship owner or any person who has assumed responsibility for the ship. Chapter 10, Safety Measure of High-Speed Craft. High-speed craft codes o HSC code means that International Code of Safety for High-Speed Craft adopted by the Maritime Safety Community of the organization by resolution MAC as may be amended by the organization provided that such amendments are adopted, brought into force and take effect in accordance with the provision of Article 8. Chapter 11, Special Measure to Enhance Maritime Security. Overall, maritime safety encompasses the protection of port, ship, and their communities against unintentional danger and harms. Whereas maritime security encompasses the protection of ports, ships, and their communities against deliberate dangers and harms. Thank you, sir, and God bless.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Deck Cadet Alan Sir Carpio Jr. and this is my topic about Chapter 11, Special Measure to Enhance Maritime Safety, and Chapter 12, Additional Safety Measure for Bulk Carrier, and Chapter 13 is Verification of Compliance, and the last one is Chapter 14, Regulation of Safety Measurement for Ship Operation in Polar Water. So, first, the Chapter 11 is Special Measurement to Enhance Maritime Safety. So, this is the IMO by Resolution MSC 350-92 adopted SULAS regulation in 19.3623 relating to enclosed space entry and rescue drills and entered into force on January 1, 2015. So, MSC adopted amendment to SULAS Chapter 11, Introduction New Regulation 7, Atmosphere Testing and Instrument, enclosed space with required ship to carry a appropriate portable atmosphere testing instrument capable of measuring concentration of oxygen, flammable gases, and vapor, hydrogen, and sulfide. So, and this is the Chapter 12, Additional Safety Measurement for Bulk Carrier. So, bulk carrier means the bulk carrier is defined in Regulation 9.1.6 Resolution 1 adopted by the 1994 SULAS Conference. Bulk carrier means the ship which is constructed generally with single deck, topside, tank, and hopper side. Tanks is cargo ships is the intended primary to carry dry cargo and bulk and include such as combination of carrier. So, bulk carrier of a single side skins construct means the bulk carrier in which cargo hold is bounded by the side shell. So, mga to siya ang Chapter 12, ang additional safety measurement for bulk carrier. So, ang Chapter 11 ang Chapter 13 ang nakabutang reg ay verification of compliance. So, money iyang kuano. The first version of SULAS was adopted in 1914 in response to the Titanic disaster. The second in 1929. the third in 1948, and the fourth is 1960. The 1974 version includes the tacit acceptance production, which is provide an amendment shall enter into force of specified date unless before the date objective to the amendment are received from the agreement of parties. So 1974 Sulas Convention and